House Concurrent Resolution 33, commending 2012 Gresham National Little League team for earning its first berth in Little League Baseball World Series.
Recognize Senator Lori Monnes Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today is our day to honor the 2012 Gresham All-Star National Little League team. And as I call their names, I would like them to come to the side rail. Devin Bratcher, Brett Faulkner, Hunter Hemingway, Tyler Lynch, Ethan Marshall, Ethan Meckel, Greg Malhoff, Tyler Pedersen, Ethan Rose, Ezra Samperry, and Christian Turner, who I don't think is here. But I also want the manager of the team, Jason Trickle, who was assisted by Craig Hemingway and Dave Melhoff, to also stand with the team. Colleagues, there were only 16 teams in the world to play in the 2012 World Series. And it is only the 4th time in the history of Little League that a team from Oregon has earned this honor. And it is the first time that a team was from Gresham. The Little League World Series is for 11 and 12-year-olds. And as I said, 16 teams from around the world took part, including the Gresham team. In the World Series, Gresham played teams from Newcastle of Indiana and Parsippany of New Jersey, and Gresham's final time at bat was a consolation game against Uganda. But let's go back a little bit. When the Gresham Nationals won the Northwest Regional Championship by beating Post Falls of Idaho, the community rallied. The community, East Multnomah County, rallied like I have never seen before. The Little League, it covers the cost of transportation and housing. But we wanted to make sure the parents of these young players could be in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, to give them support and cheer them on. And many of the parents are seated behind me, and they can come to the rail too. It was extremely important, but it costs a lot of money, and housing costs a lot of money. So a baseball camp was held as part of the fundraising. The Chevron station hosted a car wash. But what was really spectacular was when the restaurants got involved. We had 2 restaurants that sponsored events. And believe it or not, thousands of people showed up. I mean, thousands. They showed up one night for the spaghetti feed, sponsored by Bocelli's, and they had to close down Main Street because the people had to spill out onto the sidewalk to eat their spaghetti. And the second night, the local cow restaurant sponsored a feed of hot dogs and hamburgers. And again, people spilled out onto Main Street, sitting in fold-up chairs and mismatched tables. I mean, this is as big as it gets. There were people there that had never attended a baseball game, ever. There were people there who showed up that didn't know anyone on the team and didn't know any of the families. There were kids actually volunteering serving food, some for over 3 hours. Everyone wanted the team to know that this community loved them and supported them, and that we were so proud of them. Here are 11 boys. I was going to say little boys, but some of them really aren't little at all. Those boys brought practically the entire East Multnomah County together. All total, it was about $25,000 that we had to send the families to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Senators, this is an example of what a community, actually it's an example of a community that was unstoppable when wanting to support their kids. I want you to vote for HCR 33 to commend the outstanding athletic and community achievements of the 2012 Gresham National Little League team. We need to support athletics in our schools and in our community, and we need to remember the teamwork that is such a vital part of a successful life. Thank you, Mr. President.
Discussion. Recognize Senator Rod Monroe.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Hemingways have been friends of mine for a long time. Mostly I knew Reverend Chuck Hemingway, who would be Craig Hemingway's dad, and Ann Hemingway, who's still active in the senior group at church where Billy and I attend. Didn't know Hunter Hemingway, but I'm proud that he's here today. You know, baseball is what America's all about, and these boys are what America's all about. And so I hope that we'll all vote for this resolution today, applaud them for what they have accomplished. Every one of these boys, 50, 60 years from now, when they're old men like me, are going to remember their experience at the World Series and their experience as star baseball players.
Recognize Senator Elizabeth Steiner Hayward.
Thank you, Mr. President. In 1972, early 1973, when I was a 9-year-old fourth grader, probably similar to some of you guys, maybe a little older, a little younger, a friend of mine played Little League in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I liked baseball, and we used to play catch, and he said, "You should play Little League." And I said, "Okay," not realizing that at that point, there were no girls in the Cambridge Little League division. And I went, and I tried out, and I played. I was pretty crummy, nowhere like you guys. No hand-eye coordination, grew 6 inches in a year. It wasn't so pretty. You guys are awesome. I have a huge soft spot in my heart for Little League because of that experience. I've always loved baseball. I still love baseball. And I am so excited for what you all have done and for what this has given you and your community. I'm very, very proud of all of you. Thank you.
Discussion, please. Further? Senator Lori Monnes Anderson, do you wish to close?
Just briefly, again, I'm so proud of you guys, but also I am so proud of the manager and the assistant coaches. I mean, and especially the parents that are behind me. Without them, this couldn't have happened. And also, I want to thank the team for the greatest gift that I've gotten this session, a baseball signed by every one of the members of the team. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Question now rise upon third reading, the final passage, HCR 33. Those opinion bills to pass, say aye. Those opposed, no. Clerk, please call the roll.
Knope, Cruz, Monnes Anderson, Monroe, Olson, Przanski, Roblin, Rosenbaum, Shields, Starr, Steiner Hayward, Thompson, Whitsitt, Winters, Bertschiger, Bates, Beyer, Boquist, Burdick, Close, Devlin, Dingfelder, Edwards, Ferrioli, George, Gerard, Hansel, Hass, Johnson, President Courtney?
Yes.
30 aye votes.
HCR 33 have received constitutional majority declared passed. Well, I want to congratulate the Gresham National Little League team. But you would want to hear that. You guys are much better men and women. You're much better than I was. I was on the we had an all-star team in Charleston, West Virginia, before your parents even were born. And we were pretty good until one night in Front Royal, Virginia, we were playing a regional. We were the champions of 6 states and all that. It was drizzling. And I'll never forget that game. A certain person misjudged the ball in the outfield and then threw the ball over the backstop. It went all downhill from that, and it was myself that did that. So it was not good. It was terrible. And so I'm envious. You got to the World Series. We thought we were going to get there. It broke our hearts. To get to the World Series and do what this team has done is very, very difficult. I'm telling you, it is hard, really hard. So you really guys are great. You did a heck of a job. Congratulations to you, your coaches, and your parents, and everybody else. I hope your little league will do it again and again and again. Very good. Okay.